Hi guys, welcome to Aisha Love and Life Chats with Aisha and the Two Live Crew. Yeah, that's you, the Two Live Crew. Yeah, that is you. Booyah! So today we are going to sit down with Ursula B. She is a Two Live Crew member, and she is. Last time it was impromptu when she jumped on with us, and she dropped some gems, so I had to bring her back, and it was befitting to do it as we close out May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. So this is going to be great, especially in the light of what's happening right now. The mental triggers that's happening around the world for us as colored people, African Americans, is just too much to handle on top of our own things that we have to handle and try to balance and juggle out. So this is going to be an interesting discussion. So we're going to bring on Ursula and let's say hello to her. Let's bring her in now. Hi,
Hey,
everybody. Welcome back. At this time, officially, welcome back to the Love and Life Chats with Aisha and the Two Live Crew. Yeah, that's you, the Two Live Crew. Yeah, that's you. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm good. I had a semi-relaxing day, but I was able to work from home, which is a blessing in itself. So today
Mhm.
was a good day. How you doing?
I'm good in spite of what's been happening and seeing in the
Yeah.
news. It's just a lot happening. But
Yeah.
I'm good other than that. I mean, preparing for my big conference that's happening this weekend with Chrisette Michelle, Woman Doing It Big. From June
Really?
3rd to the 5th in Newark, New Jersey. So I'm gonna be teaching having a seminar on love and life and just the balancing act of getting your mental back in order so you can align yourself back on your life's path.
I
So
love it. I
it's
love
gonna
it.
be
You'd be
great.
the perfect person for it too.
Oh, thank you so much. So Ursula, last time when you jumped in on the impromptu, it was just amazing to have you on. You were like, "Oh, everybody was like, yo, we need her back. She's dropping gems." But you have your own podcast, right?
I do. I
Tell us the name of
do.
your podcast.
It is Black girls getting their shift together.
I love it. I love it. And what does it focus on? Hi, Sunday.
Hi, Sunday. Everything mental health and wellness. And under wellness and mental health, there's such a large umbrella. So it can be anything from financial wellness, sexual wellness, but more importantly, it's mental wellness. And because I love my Black people so much, I
Mhm.
always do it with relatable terms and relatable guests and therapists and coaches and inspiring people who can give some input. And they look like us.
Like us. They look
Yeah.
like us. That's the biggest thing is that they look like us. And that's what the whole purpose of my movement is, as well as just to constantly keep reinforcing that we need this for us. This is for us. This is
It
by us
is.
for us.
Exactly. That's what turned me on so much when I would hear you and see you. I'm like, this sister gets it.
And
It
that's all I be wanting somebody else to get it with me. Like, am I rambling? Is this just a ramble? But I'm like, I know I make sense. Somebody hear us. We just want to be heard. And there is a lot of us
Mhm.
that want to spread love. And we are
Exactly.
here for the guidance of our fellow sister and man brother. So I
Mhm.
cool when like minds link up, it's always gonna be amazing.
Exactly. And that's why our live was so explosive and it was so impromptu. I didn't know what else was going on. I just saw your notification. And then what we talked for like an hour or
We
so.
should have did, and it flows so much. Hi, Nancy. Good evening. It flowed like I was like, oh no, she gets it. And then I mean, how befitting you have your own podcast, which centers around sort of the same thing. So it's
Exactly.
befitting. So, like I always say, everything happens for a reason. My guest backed out, but you jumped in, and because I was just like, somebody say hi to me, and you jumped on, and it flows so well, and everybody's just like, oh my
Yeah.
god, y'all dropping some gems. I can take. I love that. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna use that, and that's the whole point of these conversations. And I want to have it with real live women, real life women, so we can have
Mm.
this thing where it's like that's more relatable because she said it. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Like, when you
exactly.
said that, I can relate to that. Like sometimes I feel like when it comes from bigger, influential songs, I do ear quotes, loosely, like from a bigger platform type of person. Sometimes people be like, "Oh, that's just the spew they spitting."
Right.
I feel like, "Hey, Roxy, baby," but I feel like when it comes from everyday women, and you
Hmm.
can see yourself in that woman, you're like, "Oh,
Exactly. I feel when famous people, which I think is great, they do use their platform for that. They make it they make it acceptable. So it's like, okay, well, if I don't know, Taraji is speaking about mental health and wellness, well, it must be okay. But then when they see sisters and brothers like us, I feel
mhm,
like it makes it relatable.
yes."
And you don't have to have money and prestige to
Harry back
have,
from therapy.
yes, to live a better way of life,
Yes.
thriving.
Yes, because that's all it is we little. I tell people all the time, don't cope with life. Get the tools so you can build new pathways, so you can build new houses to live in. You want to
Yes,
build new mental spaces to live in. Build these tools,
exactly.
collect these tools of different from different people, and stop being afraid to say out loud, like, I need you. Can you be a part of my
Exactly.
village? I called on you guys. I needed you guys, and I'm opening myself up to you guys because I honestly can say I love y'all. This is the
Yeah.
community that I want to build because I need you guys the same way you guys need me.
I love that. And you know what? I love when you say the word love so freely.
I
And the
do.
word you do, but you know how I interpret that is because
Mhm.
that's the love you have from within yourself. Why contain it? And that's why you're just it's so flow, it just flows easy. And I love that. I know the more I've become enlightened and I have a lot of enlightened people that I'm meeting, the word love is just popped
Yes.
all over.
Roxy, this is the queen that was on an impromptu the other night. Yes. And so we had to have her back. We had to have her back.
Hey Roxy.
We just had to have her back. No, but like you were saying, Ursula, I mean, love is free.
Mm,
It's free. It does
mm.
not cost the thing to give this love unless you start to play games. The price
Yeah,
you end up paying is when you play games. And then
exactly.
people tax it to love, right? They tax
Mm,
those games to love. So now it comes at a price because you now taxed it to that. You understand what I'm saying? So now
right.
I played games to get this person, or I play games to be trickery to that person. I wore a mask to get this person. So all these different things, you taxed it to love. So now anybody else who comes into your path, you have a price to pay for the last person. So now they're not giving that love for free this time. They taxing you double time. Now they gonna go. It's like everybody don't understand this love thing is free. Just use it in a good way.
Exactly. But it has to come from within for it to be authentic. Because I know I didn't realize it until
I
I went to
sincerely love you,
therapy.
Roxy.
I didn't realize until I went to therapy that I was what's the word? I use it the love as almost transactional
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't coming up as my authentic self. And so I'll have these relationships and I'm not asking for what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a cycle.
Scared to speak up for what you want, right? Because you're scared to rock the boat. How many of us
Girl,
been?
girl, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Rock
It's
the boat.
it's like you scared to rock the boat and tip it over. It's like don't rock the boat, baby.
Right.
Don't tip the boat
Meanwhile,
over.
we're sitting in the boat and the boat's still teetering, but it's because it's not a firm foundation. It's truly on water, like you said, rocking the boat. Nobody got time for that. We
No,
want some
if I
real relationships.
if I cannot say to you how I feel without
Mm.
the retaliation that I feel might come afterward, what are we doing? And that's with anybody, intimate, friend, family. If I have to walk on eggshells to be a part of your life,
Ooh,
why and what are we doing?
exactly. And then we call that love.
And we call it love.
Even with family, I'll say it. I've had family members and the same thing. They did not know how to come respectful.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the ebbs and flows. Well, I love you, but then here comes the abusive verbal language, and it's up and down, up and down. So it's like I love you, but then your actions don't show it.
Nothing's matching.
It doesn't match at all. So, at one point, when do you say enough is enough?
And you only know that.
Yeah, if we're authentic with it. But when you wear a mask, it's okay to say, okay, well, he loves me this time. But the thing is, then it translated over into relationships that I had.
Mm.
It mirrored it.
Mm.
Woo! I know.
We all been in. Roxy said, "Did that?" Roxy said, "Did."
Yeah,
But see,
we all
Roxy,
have.
this is why I want this is why I want you to come on, Roxy. This is why I want Nancy to come on. This is why I want reaction therapy to come on. This is why I want uh all of us Sunday to come on. This is why I want you to come us to do this. I
Yeah,
want us to see us.
yeah.
Who said I did that? She put I did that with a bunch of head slaps. I did that. We all have, and
We all have.
unfortunately, it's unfortunate that we all have, but this is life, right?
It
Sometimes
is.
it's going to be the greatest highs, and then sometimes it's going to be our lowest lows. It's about what you do to bounce back from those lowest lows.
I love that, the bounce back. Yeah, because I didn't have tools to bounce back. So I just stayed at the bottom. There was a couple of spikes, but because the spikes would come up, I would just hold on to the spikes but
Hi,
ignore
honey Jay.
being down. Hi, Honey J. That's a cute name. Honey
Mhm.
J, baby.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I love that. It's what you do to bounce back.
It is. It's because sometimes, and then with the, you know what happens with the spikes? You convince yourself, I'm done, but you're not really done.
Mm-mm.
I'm done, right? And then you get up and you say, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna get going. You feel good for that moment, right? But then there's no, what's the word? Consistency. There's no consistency. There's no follow through where you're gonna stay consistent on your journey to change. So you see a slight change, like say for instance, weight change. You get up, you feel good, you start working out, you do it for a whole week straight, and then you see the scale say you lost 2 pounds. Now you feeling like I did something. I'm done. I'm good. I,
I'm
everything
good.
is gonna happen on its own. It's like, no, baby girl, you gotta keep going. You know, it's the
Exactly.
same thing when you're working your way out of mental holes. You can't just get up, read one self-help book, and you feel like you're cured. I read a self-help book
And burn some sage.
and burst some, and I'm laughing only because I've been there. I done kumbaya the space, and I said I'm done.
Me too. The funny thing is, I at one point for years, I like working out anyway, but I was killing it at the gym because I thought, well, if I lost 10 more pounds, if I lost 3 more pounds, if I got some chemical spills and peels and get rid of the marks on my face, I know I'll have some a good relationship. But it was all external.
Uh-huh.
All external. I
Well,
wasn't even thinking about working on the interior. No.
uh-huh. Yep.
Mm-mm.
It's about being consistent. It's about really hitting the point where you tell yourself, I am done because I'm ready to start over.
Oh,
You have to be done with that chapter. You can't want to go back and turn the page. You can't go back and revisit. When you're done, you're done. You have to start anew. The
yeah.
third thing I learned, she said, the more you keep going back and keep revisiting stuff, like, well, let me just like that extra, like, let me see if now he changed. No,
Mm-mm.
why? He didn't
No,
change.
no. I can relate so much to that because that's how it was. I'm gonna just keep it real. That's how it was with my father.
Mm,
The inconsistency. Oh, well, he said something so disrespectful to me. Well, maybe one more time he'll change. And then it was always one more, and then one more. And now I'm a woman, and now I'm dating someone, men. Okay, well, maybe one more. He's inconsistent, but I'll give him one more chance.
mhm.
No,
Yep. We
just
can't change people. People have to be ready to change. So that's why you only, the same way they say when you're driving, right? I learned when becoming, I started to drive late. Like, so I'm about to be 39 in about a week, right? So I started to drive at 35, and I was petrified to drive. That's why, and I'm from New York, so I didn't really need to
You
drive,
didn't
right?
have to, yeah.
But moving here to the DMV is different. You must have a vehicle to get around.
Right.
It's places are far in between, or it's like you taking a bus that's going to take you an hour out of the way when the ride is only 10 minutes, right? So it was like, okay, you got to learn to drive, but I'm so scared. And one of the lessons I had learned at driving school was you're not driving for everyone, for yourself, you're driving for everyone else. It's one of the things everybody always say.
Ah.
Aisha, when you're on the road, you're not, you know what you're capable of, right? You know what you're capable. You know you're 10 and 2. You're driving for you.
Mhm.
But your defense has to be on, because you're not just driving for you, you're driving for everybody else on the road too. Because you have to react if their reaction is going to be something that's going to put you in danger. It's
Exactly.
the same thing as we move through life. You have to maneuver this mental in this physical space, right? But your reactive has to be ready to counter somebody else's stuff.
Mhm. That's some
Am I
good
going to
stuff.
protect this? Am I going to protect this mental and this vessel from somebody else's action? I'm only responsible for me, but I am going to be reactive to somebody else. So my reactive is, if he's going to keep coming back and saying something disrespectful,
That's it. That's it. That's it.
I have to get out the way. You have to get out the way. You have to be responsible for that temple, but be reactive to everybody else's, the way they driving through your life.
Mhm.
You get to drive beside them or avoid them.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to get tools and work on yourself, like for real work on yourself. I didn't listen, Aisha, I didn't even realize until I went to therapy how many blind spots I had.
Mhm.
You too?
Yes. I'm telling you, Lisa Parker said, "Thank you, ladies. I need this tonight."
Oh, you're welcome, Lisa.
This this we all need this, because y'all know my famous saying is, I'm healed and I'm healing. Because like you
Mhm.
said, so the blind spots, it still come up. It's like, damn, what the hell? Where did that come
Yeah.
from? It's like, where did that come from?
You want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
Okay. Try not to give too many details for the protection of others, but I was in a work situation and there was a man that I had dated years before, and his name came up on the list that for work. And I
Mhm.
instantly became nervous because years ago we were supposed to go out and he stood me up.
Mm.
When I say I went off on him, I mean,
Mm.
on a level 1 to 10, I went off at a 15.
The neck was going in the finger. The neck.
Oh, set him on fire. And
Oh
I felt justified and I was okay. So
my God.
now here we are, fast forward 15 years later, and I saw his name on the list. Now that I've gone through therapy and still in group therapy and shadow work, all of that, I now realize, because I didn't have tools back then, my reaction towards him, which was off the chart, is because it flared up. It triggered.
Triggers.
It was a trigger that I had nothing. I didn't know because it was a blind spot then, but now it isn't, because it reminded me of inconsistencies from when I was younger. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
You see it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, if anybody in the chat, if that resonates, let me know, because I know I'm not the only one that
Yeah.
just was triggered. You got it? You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Because this is,
So, did you get it?
I'm blocking now.
Good, good, good. So, Roxy, I see your mouth open on the emojis. Tell us what that was about. I'm sure she's laughing at it. But it's good to know your triggers, because now I know why I went off the rails. But
Mm.
knowing your triggers will keep you in check. You can keep yourself in check because you'll have tools. Not saying he wouldn't have got it now. It just wouldn't have been off the chart. He still would have got it, maybe at a level 3 or 4. He still had it coming though.
Mm-hmm.
You know. She
Spent.
said, "What the hell?"
I'm trying not to go off because you know, because that's those type of people are the ones that want reaction.
Exactly. Oh, Roxy said my reaction to him, girl. So when I saw his name on the list, I instantly started sweating. I was like, yeah. But I realized not that was little Ursula,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes any sense. So it really had nothing to do with him.
It does. It
Mm-mm.
makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because things that I did before, like reactive to certain situations, now it makes me, I'm like, that doesn't even make me mad now. It can't get under my skin. It won't get under my skin.
Exactly.
How do I
Exactly.
do? How do I do that?
You can relate, Sunday. Yeah. Yeah, Tiffany, how do you do that? That's something for me to learn for next time. Always a
Exactly.
lesson. Yeah. There
Yeah,
we go.
they want reactions, but we thriving over here. That's definitely growth. Uh Simply Fit said that's growth. It is
Yeah.
growth. It's growth because and then the growth was you recognizing that, oh, this is not even a trigger for me no more. He's not even a trigger no more.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad it happened. That way it was a lesson learned.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started going back in the memory banks. I'm like, damn, I was triggered a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Roxy.
Yes, yes. Don't at all. No one.
Mm-mm.
I
KP
got
handled it good.
but that's the thing is it's just like wanting to understand why. Why did I react like that? Why did I behave like that? What made me allow them to have that much emotional control over me? What allowed me to step out of my character to behave like that? And once you start to know the whys behind that, then it's like, oh, okay. I needed his validation in some type of way, instead of knowing that that was his loss and that was my blessing. I felt like I needed a validation in some way of why would you do that to me? Like, and it takes you,
Yes.
it enrages you because it's like me, and because you're like, I'm a good person, da, 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 and it's like, you're a good person. You know that you're amazing. You
Yes.
know that you're beautiful. You do not have to do like that. You do not have to react like that to someone else. So it's about once you learn the tools to get in there, then to handle yourself better, you will be better.
Yes. Exactly. Simply Fit. Exactly. She said amen.
Mhm. Because it took, I mean, people before I used to get triggered. And sometimes I go off on a little bit times, like when people say certain things, I'd be like, yeah, you want to let me give you a little sting in your butt because that's what you want. But none of those things phase me. It doesn't phase me. I have now became equipped with tools to handle my daily life where I'm not phased by anybody. If you're not
Mm.
paying no bills over here and you ain't putting your hands on me physically, you can really just go somewhere with yourself. Like, I really do not care anymore. And that's
Exactly.
how I maneuver through life because I'm enough. I'm enough.
I love that.
Mary J. Blige just did her speech and she said she realized where she was like failing at, like in relationships and stuff, is that she said because she was looking for love when she finally realized the love of her life was herself.
Woo!
And we know what she went through in the public eye, all the heartbreak she's been through in the public eye. So I was just like, wow. You'd think the richest people are living this life of lavish, and they're just like us too. They're just wanting someone to love, and they want to be loved, and that's,
Exactly.
but it has to come from you first.
It really does. Because if it doesn't, that's when we end up in these cycles, these relationships that really are dead before it even starts. It's the truth. It really is. So if you don't know true self with the capital S, as they say,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I'm trying to look. Tiffany said, Aisha, go
yeah.
turn on subscribers only chat. Go to the live control room. Then from your live stream, click edit, click live chat under who can send a message, subscribers, and save. Okay.
Exactly, Roxy. They may have money, but they have the same issues because we're all human. Just because
Mm-hmm.
you have money doesn't mean you instantly have it all together.
Mm-hmm.
You have that bank account together, but not knowing your authentic self. But it's a lesson. It truly is a daily lesson. I learn something about myself almost every other day.
Yeah.
Literally. Yes. Yes. You see what Nikki says?
Yeah. Yes, Nikki said, damn, 23 people in this here and nearly spammers. Wow. Wow. What you said? Wow. Y'all some real bottom feeder spammers. Why do y'all even care? Shaking my effing and get a life already. Exactly. Exactly, Nikki. Because they miserable. Because they miserable. It's and
Mhm.
those are people of the world that's miserable, that causes all the chaos that we have right now. Is miserable people like that have miserable offsprings, and then they miserable offspring go off and do some miserable shit to people. That it's like, get your life. And that's the reason why I want to do stuff like this. Is the reason why we're doing stuff like this, so we can show up in the world and create and counteract jerk offs like that.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
that's why I'm so adamant about spreading love, being positive, being light, and raising beautiful children who are going to be products of this world, that's going to feed more love and continue to feed the love. Because we have to counteract these people, because they're making offsprings. And they offsprings are the ones that's out here picking up weapons and hurting people because they are weirdos.
Oh my God. I just heard about that when you told me today. I
It's
did not know. I haven't watched TV. I literally watch TV on the weekends for about 5 hours and that's it.
yeah.
And when you sent me that message, that just broke my heart.
Yes, we're talking about what happened in Kansas with the black woman who was shot pregnant, clearly visibly pregnant, and she was shot and she was unarmed. Um, but yet we lead out the guy where he was in Boston, where he was at in a supermarket. What was the supermarket at?
Buffalo.
Buffalo, and you lead him out in handcuffs, unscathed.
And that's not the first time.
And it's not the first time. The other, what we saw was the last massacre with the guy when they asked him, did he want water? With the church massacre, they asked him, was he hungry?
Exactly.
It's like, what is happening? And but see, aside from Ursula, the mental traumas we have to deal with as colored people, black people, African Americans, the fact that we have to walk through life ready on our 10 toes down, always making sure our neck is on a swivel all the time. And then you have these traumas when you wake up to the news reportings. It's like, again,
Hmm. Compounded on top of that.
again, again. It's like you become so numb. When I saw it, I couldn't even cry.
Isn't that something?
I couldn't cry because there was no tears in me. I was enraged where my skin to the touch was boiling,
Mm,
because it's like, enough, enough. No one's safe. Me and you are not safe. Black women are not safe. Black men are not safe. Black children are not safe.
right.
What the hell is left?
Exactly. I felt the same way when the verdict with Eric Garner.
Thank you, Bonnie.
It's like I wanted to cry out of happiness, but I already knew in the back of my head, like it's gonna happen again. And that's just what we see. Can you imagine what's not reported? If some people don't have their phones out. And you
Mhm.
know what? A couple months ago, I remember I was at this store and I saw the police had pulled his brother over in the parking lot. It was broad daylight. Just out of instinct, I just pulled my phone out and I started recording because you just never know. And I remember when I walked away, I was like, that's a damn shame.
Mm-hmm.
I have to stay ready just to feel like I have to protect.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just never know.
Yes, Roxy. Roxy said this is the main reason why people of color need to come together and stop hurting each other. It's why.
Exactly.
It's why we have to build our own village. This is why we have to build our own village. This is why we have to keep educating our children in self on the economy. We have to build more capital amongst ourselves. Because
Exactly.
we have to start making moves where it benefits our community, teach our children, be able to put our children in positions where they are going to be the bosses.
Hmm.
But this
Did
is why they're doing this.
did the young lady live through
So
the?
she did. She's in critical condition, a collapsed lung, bruised rib or broken rib,
What?
in real critical condition. Yes, and pregnant, visibly pregnant. Hands up, they said. They said the witnesses all there said her hands was up in the air. She said, "Please do not shoot me. I am pregnant. I have no weapon on me, but there is a weapon in the car because there was a man in the car, allegedly in the car with her." That jumped out, but according to the witnesses, allegedly she jumped out and said, "Please don't hurt me. I can't get on." They kept ordering her to get on the ground, and
Oh,
she said that she couldn't, allegedly, because she's visibly pregnant, and they still proceeded to shoot her.
see what I mean? That is so triggering to me.
And it's like, as she's bleeding out on the floor, she's handcuffed. Somebody make it make sense to me. We don't catch a mental break
No,
between having to live our everyday life and then to turn on our computers, our phones, and our TV and see somebody that looks like us murdered or harmed once again with not a weapon in their hand.
that's the thing. Again, that's the key word you just said. Again, again.
It's mentally exhausting. So much mentally exhausting that it physically stops you in your place.
Exactly. I couldn't watch it. When you sent me that message, I looked at it a little and when I get triggered, I feel it in my throat or my stomach, and my stomach instantly became tight. I literally cannot take it anymore. Mm-mm.
Yes. I can't. I literally froze. I just was in between clients at my shop, and I was reading it, and then I froze.
Mm.
I literally froze, and I was just staring into space for a while, and I just kept saying in my head over and over again, "So what? So what's next? What's what? We don't have a Malcolm. We don't have a Martin.
I know.
We don't have a Rosa Parks. We don't have that. Who's
No,
leading? Who's helping us? We have to help ourselves as a community,
we do. That's why it's important to be mentally healthy.
and it all comes back to that.
Really, it does. It does. It's so heavy. It
And
really
that's
is.
ending mental health and wellness month, awareness month. It's just, that's how we go out
How
with,
about that?
somebody that looks like us and carrying life after you just tried to revoke life from us. You took away the abortion rights, right? But then you shoot a woman who's pregnant. It's like the trauma that we keep getting, the triggers that we keep getting. It's like, oh, Roxy said, but we have Aisha. Thank you.
Oh, that is so kind.
That's why I love y'all. Don't make me cry. This is why I love y'all for real. I'm telling y'all, this is my solace.
Yeah. Doesn't it? It does feel healing. When we got off that on your Sunday on Instagram, oh my God, I felt so full. I felt so full
Mhm.
because it truly is a healing conversation.
It is. It's like I love hearing y'all talk, and I'm like, oh yeah, girl, oh yeah, girl, drop that gems, and just to open it up, and then it was so befitting. Sunday, my sister came on, and that's my baby sister. You know, same mama, same daddy, grew up in the same household.
I knew you all looked alike, but I didn't see. I didn't catch the beginning of that live.
Yes,
I was like, well, she looks just like her.
so for her to finally open up with her story was like, and for me be able to provide that platform as her big sister was like, see, we all get to do this. We all get to heal. We get to be forgiving of our past and move into a new space. And now she's the happiest she can be, still with growth to go, but she's found her happy, and her happiness belongs to her. So it was women on there like, oh my God, like, guess this the story was dope. Like,
So
what?
did she get in an accident? I caught the
Yes,
very.
actually, yeah, multiple car accidents with cars that have multiple surgeries, and
Oh,
it then caused her to go into depression. So her segment was depression turned into now her ending happy story.
really? I'm glad you did that because people think depression it doesn't have a face, if that makes sense. You think it's someone destitute, but it can be someone that's just as smiley, but you just never know. You
Oh,
never
Roxy.
know.
I told you, Roxy, I thought I was going in there to find love, and I did. I found the love of you all. Because I said
Mm.
my journey with this did not start with Ready to Love. I told you guys in one of my interviews 8 years ago, I took to Facebook and told my story. And then
Did you
from
really?
yeah, and of coming out of abuse and standing firm on it. And from there, I started to work with domestic violence shelters, and I started to go to therapy and work with. That became my mission, is working with these women. And so Ready to Love was just the catalyst to push me forward in my mission, because I was just Aisha on my Facebook, talking, and only
Really?
my circle knew I existed, right? So everything happens for a reason. Being on Ready to Love propelled me to a greater purpose for myself, what I've been on my mission for. I've been on a mission, like I need to start a women's group. I want to push in. My mission statement is to push into schools, especially elementary, and start there and explain to them and show these young girls what love looks like. Because
Yes.
if he hits you, he likes you. No, no, no. Because then that grows up to the grown woman who, if he hits you, he loves you.
There you
If you
go.
push him in the sandbox, that means he like you. And we tell our young girls this, and they create this in their mind, and that sticks with them. And then as long as they in traumas and triggers growing up, and in the area that they're growing up in, then that sticks with them, and they become the grown woman who thinks those behaviors mean you actually like and love me.
Exactly.
So I
Woo.
want to stop them at the sandbox. That's not, sis. If you're in the hallway and he's grabbing you by your book bag, telling you can't go with your friends to the bathroom and chat with them for a little while before you go to class. Oh, he gets mad when I talk to them. That's not love, mama.
And
That's
that's
not
not
love, little
cute.
mama. That's not love, little mama. That's control already in its finest. So that's been my mission, is to stop these babies before they turn into women. Because sometimes, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's harder to.
Lord, yes. Especially when
Mm.
you're so set in your ways.
Mm-hmm. and
See?
it's and it's so I really feel like I know, Ursula. Just even the connection between you and I, how
Yeah.
impromptu it was.
It
And I
was
listened
dope.
to, yeah, and
That
then
was
I
a dope
listened to one of
night.
your podcasts, and I'm like, oh, she dope with it.
Thank
So
you, Mama.
and then everybody else was like, oh, that queen was Aisha, bring her back. Like, she was amazing. Like, what? Where did Ursula come from? We never saw Ursula on the screen. I'm like, no, I always just see her name tag. But I always thought your hashtag was your name was a funny,
Oh,
like
yeah,
catchy. I always thought your name was catchy. But this is our mission, Ursula. We
it
can do it.
is. Were you ever the type that you would hide in the beginning going to therapy?
No, because I'm very vocal, as you guys see. So I went right in head first.
Did
Like,
you?
I did. I threw myself in right there, head first. I went right in, but I was still hiding. If that makes sense. I was, even though I was head first in it, it was moments where when I did my group therapy, he was like, "Aisha, sit down," and I'm like, "No, I'm telling you the truth." And he's like, "Yeah, okay." And I was telling the truth, but I wasn't telling all the truth. You understand?
Yes. I was like that in therapy in the beginning. I went in, but I still had a mask on because I carried guilt and I just had an aha moment. I carried guilt and shame in it.
Mm-hmm. So Ellie
But
said, "So I have anxiety and depression. What do you ladies suggest to combat the symptoms of both besides the medication I have?"
ooh, well, I'm not a physician.
Yeah.
I'm not a what is it, a
Psychiatrist
psychiatrist
or therapist.
or a therapist. I can just give you what I went through because that's the only thing I can do to just give you my experience. Um, hmm. Physically, I made sure that I kept working my body out to release those natural endorphins. I still went to my therapy. I still stayed on my medication, but I also had to be careful around the people that I surrounded myself.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, including family.
Mhm.
That was the major thing, including family, like
Mhm.
close family members. You
Mhm.
know, cause I can't control them, just like Aisha was saying, but I can control what I do and who I am around.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can say because I'm not a doctor, but that's what I had to do for myself.
Yeah, and for me, I suffer from anxiety too, and
Mhm,
I refused a drug because I
mhm,
felt like I can do it without it. So
mhm,
I feel like if you need it, take it. But
mhm,
I felt like when I tried it, it was not for me. Um,
mhm.
so I said, I feel like with therapy and like Ursula said, me physically being active and me physically being present and journaling, my journaling got a lot
Woo.
of my anxiety out.
Yes.
I was able to talk and I don't know if y'all a journal like me. When I journal out loud. So I'm literally like, so today, and sometimes I'll read it back to myself out loud, and then I'll read it again, and then I start to place things. I start to highlight certain points of my own diction that that my own notations. I mean, that I put down because I'm like, I did that today. I felt like that today. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Like sometimes, when you feel a certain type of way, it's different to see it written down.
It really is. I think because we have so many ruminating thoughts
Mm-hmm.
and it just stays in our head and swirling around. So
I
I
remember.
love that you said about the journaling because when you see it, and you know what, especially as Black women, we contain all of our emotions inside. We
Mm-hmm.
talked about that on that Instagram live, but to get it out and read it,
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Literally read, like, I have so many journals, like literally journals everywhere because
yeah,
I'll start a new one and then I'll do something different in a different one. And then I say, well, I need this one for this and I need this one for this. But I know for me, uh, it was like my anxiety was feeling like I didn't have a voice.
mm,
My anxiety was feeling like in my marriage, I felt trapped. I felt like
wow,
you can't say nothing. You can't tell people this. You're bottling this up. So my writing got it out. So when
yeah,
I felt anxious, that journal was my friend. My
mm,
poetry became my friend. I need to release this.
yeah,
Everything starts to flow, and then my words became poetic. I've been writing since I was a little girl, but then my words became more poetic when I became older. And I was like, this is freeing to me. So, I mean, and then sitting alone, meditating. I
yeah.
learned to meditate. I'm still not at the point where I could quiet every single noise, but I do the best I can. I quiet the room as much as I can.
And that's good. You know, whenever you meditate to always go into it without judgment
Mm-hmm.
because we become so hard on ourselves. And I love the quiet time as well. I'm glad I started that practice before the pandemic because I don't know what I would have done during it. But I actually started gardening as well.
Mm.
Yes, I started gardening. I have a balcony garden. So that helped me with my anxiety and depression as well. And it ended up becoming a form of meditation. Because before I knew, I would have spent literally 8 hours on my balcony
Mm-hmm.
in nature, touch the ground, get your feet in the ground, all of that. It does help.
It does. And this is what I love. Like, look at y'all in the chat helping each other, and it's like, yes, we doing it. I don't care today if it's not as many viewers as we. It starts slowly. The buzz, the love starts slowly.
It does.
Y'all in the chat room helping our sister.
That's what it's
And she
about.
was strong enough to say, guys, this is what I'm going. This is what I'm saying. Drop the transparency, drop the wall and become transparent. Because then somebody said, me too. I dealt with that too. Somebody else said, me too. I've been through that too. Somebody said, me
See?
too. Me too. See?
This is God's work for real.
Me? Oh, you see? Oh, you too, sis? Okay, so how are we gonna get over this? This is what this is. This is what this is. So how do we get over that? Tell me what you went through, and maybe I can borrow some of your
Mm-hmm.
and borrow some of mine. I'm gonna knock on your door, just get a little bit of your sugar if you don't mind.
I know that's right.
And
Yes.
when I get a new bag, I promise I'm gonna fill it up because I'm good for it. You understand? I'm good for this sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna rob you of your sweets and not give you something in return. If you let me borrow a little bit of your sugar, sis, I'll come back. I'm good for it, sis. Let me
Mm.
love on you and you love on me. I promise I'll fill your cup back in return. I'm good for it, sis. Your crown is tilting. Let me adjust it back for you. Because we got this
Mm-hmm.
together, sis.
That's some
This
good
belongs
stuff.
to us. This is us for us.
In one of my healing circles that I used to join, and she would always start because it was done virtually. And she said, just imagine if you all were in a circle, like we are right now, virtually in a circle. And
Mhm.
she said, if you just imagine this gold piece of thread and it's just weaving in and out
Mhm.
between my leg, going around my ankle, up to Aisha's wrist, and
Mhm.
just going around in a circle. And it just, someone will pull it, and we all just come together and bound
Mhm.
with that golden thread of love. Oh,
Yes.
she had everybody in tears. But
Oh.
everybody was crying because of tears of joy and happiness, and that we can feel safe amongst Black women instead of just fighting and arguing with each other.
Mm.
Ooh.
Mm. Yeah, they will keep you hooked for profit. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And that's the thing. Some people may need it to help keep them back on balance, but if you can find other natural healing remedies, and if you can try to center yourself as much as you can, find that balance within yourself.
Definitely.
Find that balance, find that prayer within yourself, find that space where it belongs to you.
You should. I think so. I agree. I just, for me, I wanted that. But from my personal experience, I had to have a little bit more. But I made a conscious effort to
Mm-hmm.
go head in first with my therapy,
Mm-hmm.
learn the tools, and don't look at it as homework, but more of life work, and make
Mm-hmm.
sure. And I remember the third appointment, and my therapist said, well, did you do your life work? And because I don't know why I hesitated, I just did. And she's like, well, you didn't do it. I said, no, I did it. And that was the going theme throughout. And so I just used all those tools because I knew I did not want to be on my medication forever. That
Yeah.
was never the plan.
Yeah.
No. As holistic as I like to be, but I'm like you. I want to borrow some of that sugar, some of
Mm-hmm.
this sugar. Let me get
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of this. So it made
Yes.
it worse. Did you just stop all of a sudden, Naya? because I've learned that you have to titrate when you come off of meds.
I
Make
tried.
it worse.
I've tried Paxil in 2001 and it made me worse. I've been off ever since. And how do you feel after?
Yeah.
How do you feel now? You say you've been off since. How do you feel now, Naya?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear that as well.
Felicia said there is power in the process. Transparency is power. Because you
Hmm.
never know what somebody needs from you. Can I borrow some sugar, sis? Just a little bit of your sugar. That's it. It wasn't I wasn't on for long. Okay, so you wasn't on for long. But you
Okay.
are you balancing better now? Are you in some type of mental health therapy for yourself? What do you do to help Naya get through and be better, a better Naya in this world?
Yes. How is Naya going to show up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
Yeah. See, we all getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like once you take that, like you see one person peel back their layers, like, okay, she did that and she ain't bleed. All right. They didn't judge her. Okay, sis. Okay, y'all really meant what y'all said. There ain't no judgment. No. There's no
No,
judgment here.
no,
I
not at
promise
all.
you'll be blocked in 2.5 seconds. I'm blocking. My block finger is strong. You see them little other people came in here with the nonsense. They didn't get no attention, but they got blocked. I learned to deal with it back then. There were chat rooms.
Hmm.
Um,
Look, I'm learning something new
yeah,
tonight myself.
yeah, yeah. We want to learn how we don't want to deal with it. We want to make sure we work through it. We
Exactly.
want to make sure we work through it, because, baby, when you just deal with stuff, you that's sweeping under the rug, honey. You
It
on
is. You know, I was talking to one of my a family member, and they've gone through some things, some traumatic things early on in life, and they had questioned
Mhm.
why I was going to therapy. And she said, "Well, Black people, we're resilient. We don't need to do that." And I said, "Well, I don't want to live that life anymore." And she said, "Just learn to cope with it." Ma'am, no.
No, I hate that
No.
word.
No.
Yeah, know I got a list of words I cannot stand, and cope and strong are on those top two.
Yeah. I know that I'm a generational cycle breaker because I don't there's just more to life than just coping and getting by and just like a leaf just blowing in the wind and wherever it goes. Hell no. No. I want to live. And so I just told her that's not the life I choose anymore. Oh, thank you.
Oh, you want to what she said? Ursula's a
I
little.
just
Yes, my family didn't see. That's like Naya saying, like, if her family didn't understand. Basically, what you're saying, Ursula, is that sometimes, but you even have to distance yourself. You get to maneuver, like I was saying with the car analogy. You're driving, but you gotta worry about if you're gonna collide into them, or let them keep colliding into you, or you gonna move out the way.
exactly. You
It's
know,
about you.
who said that about the family? What
Naya,
is their name?
she was saying that her family didn't understand, but the chat rooms made her feel like she was more welcomed and more understood.
Well, Naya, may I share this with you? I have learned, and this was a
Thank you.
freaking hard pill to swallow. I had to learn, and I'm still learning. I'm not the right fit for my family. Even though we share the same DNA, I'm just not the right fit. And now I'm okay with it. It bothered me. I was so always trying to hold on to what my family thought. And, well, they're all going to the left. Well, I'm going to go to the left too, but it never felt right. So I just had to learn that, and maybe that could be the same with you. I don't know, but I used to think because I share the same DNA with same people that we all should be in the same cocoon.
Mm.
I'm just not the right fit for my family. I am a thriver.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to just cope and get by anymore. That's not a good way, quality of your life. Nah, not for me.
Yeah, in therapy, that's one of the things I learned is that you have to set boundaries with everyone. Thank you,
Can you
Tiff.
say that again?
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you for keeping reminding people to show some love. Yes, even with like my therapist, she was like, boundaries go for everybody. Everybody gets boundaries.
They do.
If
They
you do
do.
not give everyone boundaries, you are going to find yourself back in the same mental space. A people pleaser. And we all know what that means.
Oh,
Oh, thank you.
I get it. I never. Oh,
You
I'm so triggered right now, but in a good way. Because I'm reading about boundaries right now, and I realized that I was a people pleaser, experiencing people please. I have to be careful with my terms. Experiencing people pleasing because I never grew up with boundaries because it was constant boundary violations with words and emotions. So I didn't grow up with it. So how will I know to enforce it? And then if I can be
oh,
extra transparent,
oh,
where I grew up, spiritual abuse was a thing.
mm,
So if you held a boundary, oh, well, you're not being a good person. That's not Christian like. God will handle it.
mm,
No,
mm,
no, 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 no.
mm.
So, yeah, boundaries are, and it's uncomfortable holding them at first, but it has to be done because other than that, you're just laying on the railroad track and let anybody just
Mm.
ran right over, just go right through you.
Roxy says, you and only you get to choose who is in your life. Drop the baggage no matter who it is. Everyone isn't meant to go on your life journey. You can love from a distance. Yes.
Yeah, I so agree with that, Roxy. It's so true.
Naya said, from based off our conversation, it bothered me too a lot until years later I talked to my dad and he wanted to cry and he wanted to cry and said sorry.
Oh,
But that's like when I was talking to you on our last impromptu, remember, Ursula, when I was saying that sometimes you have to teach our parents, love. Sometimes we have to teach our parents that. But like we were saying to
mm,
you, like in your case, it didn't work. Sometimes family members are not open to that. And
no,
some people are. So you get to show up, and then when there is not reciprocated, or you still feel like the person is still trying to hurt you or attack you in some way, that's when you get to remove yourself. But you
exactly,
get to try what works for you. So
exactly.
now in that case, the same thing when I said with my dad on his deathbed, bruh, say you love me. Like
Yeah.
I need this. Sometimes it will work for people, but the closure you get is setting the boundary.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Thank you,
But
Tracy.
yeah, your glasses do look good.
Thank you. I had to a little bit today. uh, I love Naya said, "Oh, I love you, ladies. I have to go. Can't wait for the next one." See, Naya. Naya, I hope you hope. Good night, Naya. And I hope you took away some greatness from this tonight. So we are up. We on our hour. Oh my God, that was fast.
As usual.
Yes, you are, KP. You are able to ask questions. That's what we hear. This is our healing sessions.
KP, the gold thread is through you too. Come on.
Uh-huh. Felicia said, yes, thrive through it. Healing and living abundantly are achieved by choice. Yes.
Mm,
She said, also said, go where the love flows and surrounds you.
exactly. And sometimes it's not in your family of origin.
Mm-hmm. Roxy said, God always doesn't want you to be a fool. He gave us discernment for a reason. As long as you don't have hate in your heart, it's okay. Let go of the strongholds you carry. It only hurts you. Because you holding on grip or you carrying all this stuff, right? You just lugging and lugging and lugging.
Right.
You can't get nowhere. And that person done forgot what they did to you.
Exactly. And they would have gone.
They done moved on, lived, and then you ever remind somebody of what they did, and they're like, I did, I said that. Because number one, they probably so used to hurting too many people and so many people that they done collected so much hurt, they don't even care. That's just their MO. But you done collected this emotion and this baggage, and you just a chug-a-lugger, 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 chug.
Right.
And you're struggling through life because you're holding on to it. You gotta let that go. Because it only
Exactly.
hurts you. You think they sitting in their bed like, oh my God, I hurt her. I wonder how she feels about me to this very day. Like, no, I don't care.
They have broken consciousness, so
Yeah.
why should they?
Tracy said, you're welcome. You both are beautiful women. Thank you so much, my love. What did you say, Felicia? Yes, this is my current journey. Setting boundaries, don't want to live in that prison of bondage.
Oh
Yes,
no.
baby.
No.
Okay, what did you say, KP? Aisha, do you get triggered or feel some type of way when you see RTL couples that made it, or asked about your ex in present day when you know you resolved it in your mind and your heart to move on? No, I don't get triggered because what was for me was for me. Que
Mhm.
sera, sera. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. I am an advocate of love. So when I see people from the show make it, I'm like, please, literally, like I don't watch the show, right? But the highlights I see of the new couple, Joy and Clifton, I'm like, please make it, please make. I'm over here. I don't even know them. I even watched the show, and I'm like, please let this lady, let this be the best love of her life. And,
Mm.
and let this, because from what I saw from the highlights is I think he had children, was married before. So I'm like, and please let this be his final chapter. I love that. I'm like, man, one of us have to win. This show has to produce some type of love story if it's saying it's ready to love. Produce
Right.
some type of love story. Don't just keep putting us out there for entertainment of other people. And there's some people going on there for fraudulent, purposes and
Right.
hurting people unbeknownst to them that they was on journeys that they didn't know was not real journeys. That's the trigger part for me. But
Yes.
the other parts of it watching black love unfold, I'm here for it. I'm here for all of that. And anybody who asks me for him, I'm just like, listen, the stuff is still on my page because it's part of my journey. I don't have to erase it. It was part of my journey. It told the story. I was before you people. I was before you guys on a TV screen. So my story is going to be imprinted on my page to be archived for you guys to reflect back. For
Mm.
that for onlookers to say, oh, that's the girl. I wonder what became of her. Archive.
So people have asked why you kept anything.
Yeah, they'll go, why have you kept it up?
Really?
My page. And because I also was a public figure at one point, and I don't want to have to keep repeating myself. You understand? So it's like, there you go. Go look back. And it
Mhm.
shows my growth of where I came from. I loved out loud, and I'm still gonna continue to love out loud. And then now I met you, wonderful people. So it's like nothing triggers me, and nothing triggers me. The mention of that person's name, nothing triggers me. It's because and the reason why it doesn't trigger me, KP, also is because I'm full. I'm content. I'm enough. The day I walked away from my marriage and everything and got the tools to help build Aisha up, the day my therapist said, who are you? And I kept answering wrong, and I kept answering wrong, and
Mhm.
until I finally got who I was. And when I went to group therapy and I got called out for still not being true to who I was, and in those moments when I finally took off my mask, and the fact that I before you guys and told you guys hey, this happened to me, it
Yeah.
shows you my transparency is real.
Mm.
Nothing triggers me because I'm enough.
Mm. It's the growth.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it.
No problem. She said, KP said, thanks for responding. No problem. It's just tough because this was a large scale TV, but we as Black women were told we are not are told we not this and that, and if we're the size or this age with this many kids can be so triggering. It can, but it goes back to this. The reason why we have these talks is your mental stability to be comfortable with
Yeah.
who you are. Once you're comfortable with who you are, like, got it. Oh, you went on TV and made a fool of yourself. But I was on TV, mama, I made it. You know, what do you want me to say to that? Like, when people say those responses, it's like, what do you want to say to that? It's like, so it's like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. I made it, and I was on Oprah Network. Like, so
That's huge.
it's like, for me, it's like, for what Nate say, sorry, Noni, shh, 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 shh. My puppy, somebody knocked. With me, naysayers are, you're doomed. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you just can't worry about those type of things because they're trying to trigger you for a reason. I admire you a lot from Jamaica, and we love how you handle this breakup. Thank you.
All the way from Jamaica. I love
Yeah.
that.
Clifton and Joy is a beautiful couple. They are. They are. I'm like, please make it, please.
I love this one right here.
She flourished and continued her purpose. The end. Period, Roxy.
I love that.
Love it. Aisha, we love you. I love you guys too. Okay, guys, we are on our hour, and this was amazing. Naya, we got to talk to Naya. Roxy joined in. Tanisha, you joined in and giving us love from Jamaica. That's deep because I love Jamaica. I go there
I
like
love
every single
Jamaica
year.
too.
I've been there
Woo.
4 times. I'm about to be there my 5th time. I can't stop going. Um, Let me just shout y'all out for staying strong with us. Tracy, Naya, Roxy, Tiffany. Tiffany, thank you for telling everybody to show love and support me. I
Yes.
appreciate you keeping that chat flowing with the love. Thank you so much. Louise, thank you. Oh my God. Nicole, that's Felicia. Thank you so much. Clarity for me. Thank you so much.
Mm,
Guys, thank you all for so much. Sunrise, thank you so much. God, Ramel, thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, we did this. Maria, thank you so much. We
uh,
slowly. Patrice, thank you so much. We did this, guys.
we
We,
did effortlessly as usual. That's
yeah,
what I love.
yeah, it's smooth, just smooth sailing. That's all this is. Uh,
Mhm.
Lomar from NYC, thank you so much. Again, Tiffany, you just kept on making sure everybody kept the room with love. So I appreciate you guys. Tracy, man, this has been Lola. Thank you guys. Simply Fit. You guys, this is what we're here for.
Yeah.
Whether one join or two or none, we're here to talk out love. We're here to show nothing but love. One person at a time. I'm gonna borrow some sugar, sis, and I love y'all for real. Thank you so much, Ursula. You are amazing. You
You.
have to have me on your channel. Make sure we all come follow us. Please tell them where they can follow y'all. Please go follow her.
Yes, you all. You can follow me on Black Girls Getting. My name should be on there somewhere.
I don't know what I would put. I think you gotta
Oh,
put.
you can take off Tiffany's comment,
Yeah. How do
but
I?
you can follow me on click on wherever it's colored in the comment section.
There you go.
Right on YouTube, Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. I had
Mhm.
a lot of shit going on. So once I got my shift together, that's when everything started to become in alignment. But I stream every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's a platform all about mental health and wellness and ultimately destigmatizing mental health in the Black community because it's so taboo with us. But when we open up, literally your heart, take off the transparency, excuse me, the mask, you become transparent and you see how everything just opens up. Creativity, people you meet. It's just a beautiful thing. So make sure and check me out. You should click right on it and you'll see it. Oh, I have beautiful teeth. Thank you.
Yes, she does. She's so beautiful. Her skin is amazing.
Thank you. But thank you for having me. I love everything you're
Welcome.
doing. You truly are a vessel, and just keep shining like
Okay,
you
look
do.
what Roxy said. We didn't know we needed Ursula, huh? I done found my co-star. I done found my co-host. This is look at the ancestors. When you ask, you shall receive.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I can do this by myself. This is definitely a good
This was
bounce.
good stuff.
This is some good stuff. Ursula will definitely be my co-host
Mhm.
because we will be bouncing this love off of each other, and I will come on yours so we can do the same.
Yes. We'll talk about that. I definitely want you
Yes,
to come on for sure.
and love you too, Roxy. Love you guys. Good night.
Good
Um,
night, everyone.
good night, ladies. Beautiful time sharing. I love you, ladies, for real. We can do it. Love warriors. Let me borrow some sugar, sis. Bye, guys.
Good night.